Leo listened carefully, but he only smiled. Then he went on with his digging. "You must be tired," Nikolai said at last. "Let me help you." The turtle gave him his shovel, and he thanked him. And because it was easier for a young boy to dig than it was for an old turtle, Nikolai kept on digging, and the rows were finished. But just as he finished, the wind blew wildly, and rain burst from darkened clouds. As they moved toward the cottage for shelter, Nikolai suddenly heard a cry for help. So I'm going to pause. I think this is his main problem. So now his steps to solve the problem. So I know he already helped the turtle. Then I'm going to come back. I'll wait till we can see. Vivian, no behind Berlin, Maxim behind Nathan. Running down the path, he found a panda whose leg had been injured by a fallen tree. Carefully, Nikolai carried her into Leo's house and made a splint for her with a stick of bamboo. The storm raged on, banging at the doors and windows. The panda woke up. "Where am I?" she said. "Where's my child?" So another step, I don't know if he's solving the problem, like finding the answer to 3 questions, but he did just help the panda. Helped panda. So I'm gonna go back over here. Max, Sam behind Berlin. Vivian, Sam behind Sam. The boy ran out of the cottage and down the path. The roar of the storm was deafening. Pushing against the howling wind and dreading rain, he ran further into the forest. There he found the panda's child, cold and shivering on the ground. The little panda was wet and scared, but alive. Nikolai carried her inside and made her warm and dry. Then he laid her in her mother's arms. Leo smiled when he saw what the boy had done. So he helped not just the one panda, but both pandas. So I'm just going to add an S. Helped pandas. But he still hasn't figured out his answer to the 3 questions yet.
I think he has.
The next morning, the sun was warm, birds sang, and all was well with the world. The panda's leg was healing nicely, and she thanked Nikolai for saving her and her baby from the storm. At that moment, Sonia, Gogol, and Pushkin arrived to make sure everyone was all right. Nikolai felt great peace within himself. He had wonderful friends, and he had saved the panda and her child. But he also felt disappointed. He still had not found the answer to his 3 questions. So he asked Leo one more time. The old turtle looked at the boy. "But your questions have been answered," he said. "They have?" asked the boy. Yep. Landon, Sam behind Tana. You gotta be able to see the book. "Yesterday, if you had not stayed to help me dig my garden, you wouldn't have heard the panda's cries for help in the storm. Therefore, the most important time was the time you spent digging on the ground." The most important one at that moment was me, and the most important thing to do was to help me with my garden. Later, when you found the injured panda, the most important time was the time you spent mending her leg and saving her child. The most important ones were the panda and her baby, and the most important thing to do was to take care of them and make them safe. Nerali, stand behind Berlin when you see the page. Remember then that there is only one important time, and that time is now. The most important one is always the one you are with, and the most important thing is to do good for the one who is standing at your side. For these, my dear boy, are the answers to what is most important in this world. This is why we are here. So I'm going to go back now and look at, steps to solve the problem. He found the answer to his questions. And then the last part is, in the end, what was the solution and the lesson learned or the feeling? So most important, instead of writing most important, I'm just going to write the most important time is now. What was his other question? Who's the most important one? Most important person is person you're with. And what's the most important thing? Like spending time helping that person? Spending time with them?
Yeah.
Okay. When I'm finished with that, this stays at your table spot, and then I'll put up the next directions next.